Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Good to have you all back to 17. A busy Friday. I hope you all had ready to kick back and relax for your weekend and put your feet up and recover. Hopefully it wasn't too hectic for you. A little bit better for us today, except if you're working on a digger. The boys got a bit smashed there, so that was a bit unlucky. Did you get that on the big jobs? Yes, Friday. You're probably out celebrating, so you might not see this till tomorrow, or while you're drunk at the bar waiting for a drink. That's fine. That's cool. Show the person next to you. Tell them to subscribe while they're there. That'll be gold. Tickety boo. It's free. I won't charge you 1 cent for this awesome comedy news routine. Anyway, bit of business. Let's get into it, shall we? Dance. Okie doke. First of all, Fossil. More so a fashion brand, but also they do watches and stuff like that. I guess a bit like Diesel and stuff like that. They have brought out a hybrid analog watch. So where you've got an analog watch like my G-Shock here, and then you've got an Apple Watch full digital. It's a combination of both. So in your center, you've still got your hands and your hour and all your markings, and then in the center's a digital display. It allows you to choose up to 4 different things like your heart rate. It's got a heart rate monitor, heart rate, weather, such and stuff, running, distances, bits like that. It obviously can't do any of the app stuff that the smartwatches have, but it's an e-ink display and it will run for 2 weeks on one charge. So you do get probably the most used benefits, I guess, except for maybe music. That'll be the only other one. Chucking the headphones in and syncing up, which is 90% of what I use my Apple Watch for. I don't use it for any apps. You can't read nothing on there, you can't do nothing with it, so, and it's got to be synced to a phone unless you've got one of the new series anyway, so it's pretty much of a muchness unless you need music for running and you want to run without a phone, which is the major benefit I have with Apple Watch, and it's waterproof as well. That's the other big benefit with the new ones from Series 3 onwards. This looks like a great option. 2 weeks on a charge, awesome. 42mm. It does have its own OS, so it's not an Android, it's not an Apple or anything like that. It's only 215 or 295 US bucks. So really nice, good looking watch. I'll try and get a picture and chuck it in the thumbnail for you so you can check it out. Nice looking bit of kit. Something as a bit of an option for you, I guess, if you don't really want to spend $800 on a smartwatch, and you do prefer to tell the time the old school way. So yeah, like a boomer. I think that's the, as PewDiePie said, it's the new term for all us old blokes. Boomers. Okay, boomer. So I'm probably getting a bit of that out there, so all good. I can take it. You can't give it if you can't take it, so all good. iPad. Apple iPad, still king of the tablets. Up 6% in sales in the second quarter this year. The only brand to have an increase. All the rest are losing or going down. All tablets across the board, including Apple, sales are falling in the last 2 multiple quarters. Everyone's pretty much walking away from tablets. I know there was a big push, especially with the iPad Pro, to get it to become your everyday computer. But realistically, no one wants to carry around a separate keyboard, and you're going to pay $2,000 just about anyway for the top of the range iPad Pro. So you might as well just go and buy a laptop. Especially if you're not running Apple, well then you'd be absolutely crazy to buy that. You could just easily go get a cheap computer laptop for less than what it costs the top of range tablet. So I think that's a big reason behind it. They just got too expensive. They're fantastic bits of kit and they're great, but they're really now becoming, with the cost of them, a a niche tool. Like, they're fantastic for graphic artists. You want to sit there with the pencil and do stuff and bits and pieces like that. But I think you'll find eventually that they're going to fold back to a computer just for easy use, to be able to sit here and type and just do that while you're going, instead of having to either attach another thing or type on the actual iPad, and that has zero feel and it's just a terrible way to type. I can't stand it. So I think that's a big reason, but they still are up. Apple's still up. They've sold, in the second quarter, they still sold 12.6 million units worldwide, which is ridiculous. And I don't think they're really embedded into India and stuff like that, where there's 1.5 billion people. So now that they're trying to get in there with the iPhones and bits and pieces, you might see that sort of change. So yeah, tablets are out, laptops are coming back in. So again, another reason for that 16-inch MacBook. Apple, how about it? iPhone 12, some I guess preemptive design leaks. It's 9. What are we in? We're not even in December yet. We're talking about next September's phone. It's just insane. So it's hard to read much into these when they're talking about this stuff. Basically, I guess they're just trying to throw Apple a wish list of what we want. If they don't know what we want by now, it's 9, 10, 12 months later, basically 12 months or 11 months till now. I don't think it's going to get built in 11 months, realistically. But anyway, there's some not leaks, they can't be leaks. There's some renders up on the internet. They're talking about 4 cameras on there, plus another smaller camera, which will probably be a 3D camera, which we've already seen in the other phones we talked about, the Huawei and stuff, last night and the night before. Back to a square design. The iPad Pro's a square design, and everyone loves that, so that's pretty much evident. I think that was the iPhone 5. I think we were square, and then I went to 6 and went rounded edges, which were not real good. I do prefer the square. It looks much neater. 5G, a smaller notch up the top, and that's pretty much all they've got. So I think they're just, I guess, keeping the tech moving going, keeping that Apple thing going. Just keep talking about it and keep the interest in there. It's a 12-month interest now, so there's just that cycle. They just keep rolling around. So not a real lot into it. You can't read anything into it. There's no hard confirm of everything. 5Gs should be in there. It's still no rush, because in the next 11 months I can't see, especially in Australia, them getting anywhere close to 50% coverage in the capital cities, let alone in the regional areas. So it's not of urgent importance. It's really not going to affect anyone. And it's billions of dollars to do that, to set it up, to put basically every 500 meters on every single street in every suburb in the whole country. You need a 5G dish basically to link up. That's the only way it's going to work. So that's megabucks. Just in labour, it's megabucks. So it's not going to happen in 11 months. So 5G can come. It will probably be good to have it in, because it'll help push the telcos to start putting some money back into this. But then they're probably going to charge more to have a plan if they want to, if they're going to have to blow all this billions of dollars to set it all up. So be interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, a little bit happening there. Not too much to be concerned. Drone news, big news in the drone world. UPS and CVS, which is a big pharmacy chain in the States, have begun delivering prescriptions in the United States. So it's all been completely passed off and signed off by the FAA. And my music stopped. Why is my music stopped? Oh, there's only 2 songs on that. Sorry, 2 seconds. Let me get you something else. What about a bit of White Gold from Tommy? Oh, that's where I was. 2 secs. How rude. Let's get a bit more music, yeah? Lemonade by Black Hole Mixtape. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, so they've been signed off by the FAA in the States. It's all happening fully legit. They had a person with the drone the whole way through. They delivered the 2 deliveries for their final trial. One was to a retirement home, and a person was there with the controls just in case something went wrong. Delivery went perfect, come to a set point, lowered down by cable the prescription medicine onto the set thing. Person picked it up, drone flew off and went back to its home base. And then another area as well, I think it was just a local personal to someone's house or something. So it's locked and loaded, it's happening, it's here. They're starting off with prescriptions, I think, and then once they can sort of prove that, because that's obviously a really good thing. As they talked about, older people that possibly don't have cars and transport to go and spend money to go to the chemist to pick up the drugs, well, now they can just get delivered. If they forget something, they get home or whatever, or they can get them delivered without having to worry about it. And so that's been sort of passed off and rushed forward as the first stage, which is a good way to do it. And if it helps someone and possibly save someone's life, or from having a stroke or a heart attack or anything like that, if they can get there in 10 minutes, get them the drugs they need, they could possibly stop something bad happening. Well, that's fantastic. So drones are here to stay. It's happening. You're going to see them flying around. It was in a suburban area. It wasn't in a big city. So I guess that's the next big stage. Obviously, buildings and towers and bridges to get under and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, pretty cool, I thought. Very cool. Screen time. Computer screen time for whippersnappers. Ooh. Like my young Jack, he's only 2 or just over 2. They've done a study in the States on 47 kids. They found if you don't reducing screen time, increase screen time reduces brain development. Now, it was only a study over 47 children, but it was I guess it's a pretty significant first study, and I know we definitely, as parents, as all parents do, as I'm sure you are, you really don't want your kid punched in front of a screen for just watching stuff over and over. So obviously it's finding that right time frame or right balance of what age can you sort of let them increase that thing, and where it's not going to hurt them in school, because apparently now schools are all laptops. No one uses pencils. How do you write 1,000 lines when you've only got laptops? These kids are not going to know anything. Wowee. Suppose they don't even get the cane anymore, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting as a parent to hear that. A little bit disconcerting. Obviously, I think, like everything, moderation. And most kids, they should be out playing and enjoying life when they're young, not shoved in front of a friggin' iPad or a laptop or whatever, watching stuff constantly. I know we try to minimise little Jack's cartoon time, and we get him outside to play with Bentley and the Labrador Jockey Lab, and try and get out in the sun and do stuff and see a bit of nature and do things. That's what it's all about. So yeah, very interesting, something to look at and just be aware of, I guess. Just moderation, as everything. Everything in life's moderation. Just finding the balance. Curiosity. Curiosity Rover, if you don't know what that is. That's a little buggy. Well, it's still not a little buggy. It's a buggy the size of a van. They can move 100 feet every day. It's been on Mars since 2012, taking photos, which is pretty darn cool. And we get the photo. It sends the photos back to us. Well, it's in this. It's in this old. They call it a pit. An old pit. It's like a big canyon, I guess, or a meteor crater, or whatever. It's a monster thing. It's been travelling around since 2012 in this one pit. It's massive. This pit, they've worked out, because scientists are brilliant people, is actually 3.5 billion years old. Just this hole. That's when it was created. the Earth, from memory, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure the Earth all happened when the moon hit it and spun it round and put it on its axis that it is and set it all up as the way we are now. Or not the way we are now, but the initial phase, and then locked the moon into orbit when it crashed. So meteor hit, something, two big entities hit, merged together, give us our moon, which was the leftover bits that didn't get stuck into the Earth, and the Earth went onto whatever axis. Well, that's about 4 billion, so it's not far off being that just this hole as being the same age as the Earth. So it'd be interesting to see if they can work out, I guess, what Mars is. But the photos were pretty cool. Massive big mountain range, big, obviously big canyon and pit, and it's walking up. It's just got rocks. Realistically, it looks like what's outside my back door, just no trees. No trees, no spin effects. Although Mars would probably have spin effects because it hurts like crap and it's really spiky. So, but just looks like a mountain range and rock, and exactly like the desert here in the Pilbara. So we just got trees and spin effects and animals. So very, very cool. Great to get all those photos. Great to see them. It's amazing. Like, science just blows you away every now and again. So very cool. While we're on science, scientists also believe that space is not flat anymore. There was some previous things that it was in a loop. They then went to a flat thing, and with gravity just deformed that flat bit of space. Well, now they've got some more data from the basically when the universe started from the Big Bang. They can get the red light emissions from that, and whatever they do, they're magicians. They've worked out that, well, they haven't worked it out 100%, but they now believe yet again that they've gone back to that the universe is one big loop, just a straight line, but it just slowly curves, and if you just keep going long enough, you get back to where I am now. So it could take 20 trillion years, and then all of a sudden I'm back here. Chuck that in your pipe and smoke it. That'll blow your head away for a little bit if you think about it. So yeah, pretty cool. Scientists cooked but brilliant, and it's pretty cool that they're constantly finding out bits and pieces about how we're all here. On scientists, lithium ion runs the world. Tesla, this camera, batteries, everything nowadays. Your whippersnippers, still whippersnippers, all lithium ion. So there hasn't been much come along to change it. They've looked at trying to do other bits and pieces and change it. We needed a better battery. We've talked about carbon nanotubes and all that different thing, hydrogen, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's been a bit of a development on the battery stage. It's lithium carbon dioxide. So all the bad crap we spit out, the carbon dioxide that we pump up into the atmosphere, this one guy has worked out. Now, they had the technology before, but when you went to you could build a battery with stored energy, but when you went to recharge it, it would just disintegrate itself. Old mate, and when I say old mate, I mean old mate, he's worked out, and his team have worked out a way to be able to recharge it. So it's an initial stage, but lithium carbon dioxide batteries, I believe, are coming. What form and how long, we're still in the lab. It's got a long way to go. I'm talking 5-10 years, but picture this, 7 times the energy than the current lithium. So if you've got a 10 amp hour battery, 1 kilowatt lithium battery for your car, now you've got a 7 kilowatt battery. Same thing, and it uses carbon dioxide, which gets rid of it out of the atmosphere and change it into a different form of energy, which then gets used and gets rid of the carbon monoxide. So it changes its state and gets rid of it completely. So awesome. That's a great idea on the both fronts. A, getting them more energy, and there's two good reasons on the energy. You've got 7 times the power, so you can either make the battery smaller for drones, flying stuff, and still get the same power, or for a car, you can get 7 times the energy for the same weight and go further range. So multiple benefits on that side, or 3 or 4 different awesome reasons that it should hopefully get more funding and be pushed forward a little bit faster. Now they've worked out how to that they can recharge it, and it's can be cycled and last and be of a value, because there's no use paying for it if you've got to buy a new one every 2 weeks. So like the old batteries, where rechargeable stuff it keeps going for maybe a couple of years. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, getting rid of the carbon dioxide, that's awesome. That helps out the planet as well as that. So that's really cool, and definitely a good note to finish on. Another day, Friday, Saturday, tomorrow. Hope you're all going to have fun tonight. Have a nice glass of red for me, or a nice cold beer. Hope you've all earned it. It's Friday. 5 days of work is enough for any species, I think. Kick back, relax, get yourself a good sleep, and we'll see you all tomorrow evening. So from me, wherever you are, going out, coming home,